ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to Vidcure Academia once again. And today we shall be discussing the difference between these two relative pronouns, which and that. Now, what are relative pronouns, you might ask? Well, I shall be conducting a separate class on that. But for today, let's understand the difference between these two. So let's start with which. Now, which is used when we add some extra or non-essential, non-relevant information about the subject in a sentence. Now take this sentence for an example. What is the subject here? Office is the subject. The entity which is being talked about is the subject, or office. So office is the subject. Now what is the important information about the subject office that is being portrayed in the sentence? Well, it is this. The office, the subject, is located in Chicago. This is the important or the essential or the relevant information of the sentence about the given subject. So what about this clause in between, which has two rooms? Now this clause is merely giving us extra information about the subject. But is this information relevant? Is it required? No, it isn't. Which is why I have colored it blue, because this information is just optional for the context of this sentence. Now let's look at this sentence. She likes to spend her holidays at my aunt's house. Now what is the subject in this sentence? Till now, till where I read, she is the subject. So we are talking about she. So the entity which is being discussed about in the sentence, or the entity about which the sentence is the subject. So in this sentence, we are talking about she. So she is the subject. Now, she likes to spend her holidays at my aunt's house. So what is the necessary information which is being conveyed? It is that she likes to spend her holidays at my aunt's house. Now this clause over here, which is by the beach. So this is first of all not telling us anything about the subject of the sentence. It is telling us more about the aunt's house, number one. And secondly, this information, which is giving us more insight into the aunt's house as to where it is located. So is this information relevant in context to the complete sentence? No, it isn't. What's relevant is that she likes to spend her holidays at my aunt's house. Where is the aunt's house located is not that important, neither is it necessary. And henceforth, I have used which and not that to convey this extra information. One more thing to remember by rule is that whenever we use which to portray such non-relevant or not necessary information, we always separate that clause using commas so that it is apparently visible in the complete sentence that this particular part is not necessary. Now let's talk about the concept of that. So this is completely opposite to what we studied in which means that we use that to convey information which is very necessary, which is essential for the subject. Now let us look at this example over here. The phone that I bought lasted only a week. So what is the subject here? Phone is the subject. Now, why did I use that here and not which? Because I bought the phone. Now this information is very important. The phone belongs to me. I'm the one who bought it. And that is why I have used that. Similarly, over here, the dog we kicked was my aunt's. Now, the subject is the dog, and I've used that over here instead of which because we kicked the dog. Now, this is irrelevant information because this information is helping us to identify that it is the same dog that we kicked. The clause that we kicked, this dog, is a defining feature for the identification of this dog. Otherwise, how would I know which dog am I talking about? So that is why this information is very important for the subject, because it is helping us to identify this dog. Now with that, I would like you to try out these two sentences over here and see if you can identify their answers. Alright, let's discuss the answers. So in the first sentence, the answer will be which. Why? Because all iPads connect to the iCloud. So is it necessary to mention that it connects to the iCloud? No, it isn't. What's important is to mention that it is created by the company called Apple. Similarly, in the second sentence, so what is the subject? The issue is the subject. So what issue am I talking about? The issue that has John's picture on it. Now that means that the complete clause that has John's picture on the cover is a defining feature with which I am able to make out that this is the issue which is my favorite, and this qualifies it as essential information about the subject, the issue of the Writer's Digest. Also, unlike which, whenever we use that, we need not use any commas to separate the clause which uses that with the rest of the sentence.